Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today in our wonderful masterclass. This webinar is Attract High Vibe People, which is what, as highly sensitive people, we want to do. And unfortunately, we have unconscious beliefs which are not helping us in that manner. So once we master those, then we can attract those healthy relationships that we want and that we deserve. So, welcome again. Please do say hello when you join in the chat if you would like. Now, today is going to run about hour and a half, and we will be working from a foundation of why are we not attracting high vibe people, moving into how to attract high vibe people. And it's that process that's so very foundational and important. So what we're going to cover today are those 5 unconscious relationship beliefs or patterns, because they are, we have blinders on. They're hidden from view. They're operating underneath. We've been imprinted with them. We may have some awareness, but they're still bubbling up and impacting our behavior. So we'll give you some tips today on how to rewire both your thinking and then your behavior, because we want to interrupt this pattern and lay down a new one. So today I'll be talking about attraction approaches. And if you've taken my quiz, what's my number 1 toxic energy attractor, and what is that approach or that attachment style bringing me, then we can work with moving away from that. I'll be later giving you some scripts with antidotes for speaking with toxic people, because very often, well, actually, I say everything happens in a conversation, whether it's in your head, with God, however you perceive that, higher power, or with somebody else. That's when we're having issues. So how do we interrupt those conversations? Just nullify them so that we can move forward. And then I'll be talking to you about my holistic happiness plan, and then, how that can serve you. And I have 3 special gifts for you if you stay to the end. Alrighty, so even if you're watching this in the replay, just put #replay when you say hello. Thank you so much. So why is attracting high vibe people important? Because you want to be that change that you want to see for yourself, your loved ones, and your world. As highly sensitive people, we can have a magnetic pull towards toxic people, pull them towards us. And we need to release this toxic relating pattern and attract the high vibe people that will be our support system for our energy, because as highly sensitive people, not only we're sensitive to other people's energy, we can have energy leaks, energy drains, energy exhaustion. So we want to raise and maintain this energetic vibration. We want to be a high vibe person. And when we're in this pattern with toxic people, then our energy and our vibration goes much lower. And attracting those high vibe people is going to help you thrive joyfully in your life rather than surviving woefully. And from this place, then you'll be able to design and live your future self right in the now, as compared to only being in reaction. You're going to be in generation of what you want for yourself, your love, your life. I'm going to introduce myself a little. If you don't know me, I'm Devashy Blue. I'm a Toltec energetic and spiritual coach. I have 3 certifications through Artists of the Spirit, and I help women empaths release toxic relating patterns and reclaim their inner light to create more healthy and happy relationships. That's what we want. And as I've found, there are 5 unconscious relationship beliefs, which I call toxic energy attractors. They're impacting about 90% of empathic women. These may or may not be activated all the time, but when they are, it's energy draining. So knowing your number 1 toxic energy attractor is the first step to finding your clear energetic aliveness and finally attracting the happy, healthy relationships you've always wanted with other high vibe people. And this is my website, perfectlypowerfulpeace.com, and we'll come back to that in the end. So, what are some common challenges for highly sensitive people? Well, we do struggle with setting and honoring boundaries, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. You may feel like it's not okay to say no or to give your opinion. You may have a fear of judgment and speaking up. We definitely feel too much. We feel everything. We need to feel less. We need to control our environment in every fashion and control our energy and our schedule, etc. So a lot of times we can feel very high and a lot of times we can feel very low. Partially because we're attracting these energy vampires that are just sucking the energy out of using us up. And it can leave you feeling a lack of confidence and feeling isolated. Certainly this can happen to anybody, but for us highly sensitive people, it can be, a life issue. So let's look at what is your unconscious attraction approach. Now, as I said, if you've taken my quiz, and you can take it later, I have that link for that at the end, you may fall into being a people pleaser, having poor boundaries. So you're not taking care of yourself, you're taking care of everyone else. You may be hypervigilant for, what's going on around you, what's real, what's truthful, what's authentic. You could just be attracting people because you're looking through rose-colored glasses and not seeing what's the whole picture, what's actually there. You could be giving people too many chances and forgiving people too much. That is not a great attraction approach either. And then self-doubt is also an attraction approach where you're looking to other people to give you your reality. So I call these toxic energy attractors, and you can drop them today in each and every moment because they're relationship beliefs as well. So they're overly empathetic attractor, rescuer attractor, overly positive attractor, overly forgiving attractor, and the toxically parented attractor. And we'll get into those. So once we get into that, we'll get into the antidotes and then how to rewire your thinking, the scripts, the holistic plan, and the special gifts. So rewiring the thinking around these patterns that is most likely sabotaging your sanity so that you can immediately shift towards welcoming more happiness in your life. So just knowing, as I said, just knowing this number 1 toxic energy attractor, and I'll talk about all 5 of them, and you can take the quiz and find which is yours. It's the first step to finding that clear energetic aliveness and finally attracting those happy, healthy relationships you always wanted. Because this toxic energy attractor approach can show up in relational patterns that see you spending your time and energy on toxic people that you don't really want to, and then wondering later on, why did I waste all my precious time and energy? It's a low energy framework that can lead to being or feeling and actually having you being manipulated and confused, leaving you feeling unloved, and then completely distracted from investing your energy into healthy habits. And then you're not making any progress in a thriving life for yourself, and it become a cycle that's hard to break. So left unchecked, this gradual shift towards filtering your value through pleasing the toxic person's perspective can have a significant impact on your well-being. And if this pattern tips towards communicating and even arguing with no clear outcomes or safe boundaries, you can risk developing feelings of anxiety and fear, and long-term extreme cases can lead to more significant issues over time, including depression and other physical and mental health challenges. We want to get you out of that space, because the one big mistake that this approach, toxic energy attraction, can cause you to make is to miss windows of opportunity. They're coming along to increase your happiness and your overall well-being. And your colleagues and friends or family members, they may be building happy, healthy lives. And you can feel like, well, I'm falling behind, and what happened for me? And it can be extremely frustrating, concerning, and even debilitating for you. And the missed windows, the impact from missing that gets greater over time, because the majority of your energy is more than likely being spent on people who drain your energy versus re-energizing you. And so there's a risk. And HSP women, empathic women, run into this by applying these toxic energy attraction approaches to the relationship without even knowing it. Oh, this happened last time. So our overly empathetic attractor approach, what this means is that you're very likely to be a people pleaser. And that's in contrast to what much of the conventional wisdom has to say when it comes to healthy boundaries, right? So this overly empathetic attractor approach can often be marked with classic caring, conscientiousness of others and their emotions. And empathetic person is the greatest thing on the planet, right? You may find yourself wanting to fix other people's pain because you're deeply compassionate and tend to, mirror back other people's feelings. You try to be respectful and responsible, whereby you're in alignment with your integrity, as opposed to falling into the toxic person's habitual ways of being non-empathetic, not caring for other people, and actually minimizing your good feelings. And while we all have to take care of our basic relationship responsibilities, the overly empathetic mindset can cause you to spend a lot more energy in those toxic relationships, leaving you nothing for investing in your self-care. That's going to grow and produce healthy, loving relationships for you. In other words, being highly sensitive can lead to codependent tendencies and leave you feeling stressed and exhausted. The next attractor, rescue attractor. So if you have a tendency to be a rescuer and wanting to fix people, you can tend to put yourself into problem spots or situations. And this can often trigger what is known as a trauma triangle. So to expand, toxic people may be targeting someone, and you may feel the urge to step in and overstep boundaries in order to rescue a perceived victim, because you're sensitive to the energies that are happening there. And the problem is that toxic person will tend to manipulate you by playing the victim themselves and then demonizing others. And this all may result in backfiring on you, as the toxic person can end up blaming you for stepping in and trying to make right out of wrong. Because toxic and narcissistic people, it's a constant strategy. Their tendency to avoid responsibility for their behavior and for their impact can end up then weaponizing the others and blaming you, aiming it at you. So these poor boundaries are an antithetical approach to much of conventional wisdom in psychology, psychiatry, when it comes to healthy relationships. And this rescue attractor approach can often be marked with being on high alert to sleuth out any inauthentic behaviors I spoke to earlier. This approach can be a trauma response to wanting everything to be okay, be fair, be chill, but you're not trusting others' intentions. And this is not protecting your energy. And I want to say that since, everyone is actually powerful, this approach, this rescuer approach, sets us up an imbalance to see one person as a powerless victim and one as the overpowering oppressor, and then you as the all-powerful fixer. But nobody wins here, and you need to know what is right or who is wrong, and you can actually disempower all involved. So a more balanced view can actually be to empower each person to be responsible for themselves, see them as powerful. Now, because you're carrying consciousness and you want to fix their pain, you tend to overstep, right? You get your energy mixed up with theirs. The boundaries get blurred. You need to shield yourself from the toxicity of the situation. And you're taking care of basic relationship responsibilities. But the rescuer mindset can cause you to spend a whole lot of energy in tense situations with toxic people, leaving you feeling misunderstood because they've twisted it around and with little justice. And left unchecked, this gradual shift towards filtering your value by resisting, fixing, or trying to change the toxic person's perspective, maybe they'll learn from you, can leave you with no energy for your self-care. That could grow and produce healthy, loving relationships for you. So again, being a highly sensitive person can be a path to codependent tendencies, leaving you stressed and exhausted and leaving your vibration quite low. Now, you may fall under the overly positive attractor approach, which means you're kind of filtering your reality through rose-colored glasses. And that can have a significant impact on your well-being also, because studies have shown there's actually a balance you want to achieve in listening to your intuition. Like, don't ignore it, because there's a danger in allowing someone else to consistently step over your boundaries. It actually gives a toxic person permission to continue their behavior, and they can push up on your boundaries until it's not safe for you. So there is a healthy balance that you want to achieve in honoring your real feelings, all of them, and allowing others theirs. You may see one good thing in someone, right? But then kind of ignore the bad because, you don't want to deal with it. But by ignoring or denying the entire reality, you're setting yourself up to be taken advantage of. You don't want to do that. You're trying to be respectful and responsible. You're trying to be positive. You're in line with your integrity. And, we all want to be positive. But overly positive mindset can cause you to spend a ton of energy on people who really aren't all good, right? And you aren't investing in those people that are healthy. You're not investing in your health or healthy relationships. The next one is the overly forgiving attractor. And what this means is you're likely to suffer from the tendency to give people 1, 2, 3, or more chances, which is in contrast again to having healthy boundaries. This can be marked with classic caring, classic conscientiousness, wanting to fix their pain, wanting to, just have, forgive them over and over, hoping that they're, going to learn from you and behave. And, you're trying to be in alignment with your integrity. You may have a real spiritual intention to practice forgiveness. But again, there's a healthy balance that you want to achieve in honoring your real feelings. So when you keep taking people's disrespect, it actually gives the toxic person permission to continue this behavior. They know they've gotten over on you, and they'll do it again, and they can take advantage of your good intentions by really pushing up on your boundaries until it's not safe for you. And this shift towards letting the toxic person off the hook, not speaking up, not holding them to account, that can have a significant impact on your well-being. And studies have shown there's actually a danger to allowing someone to consistently overstep your boundaries. They'll use you and abuse you. They'll take your soul if you let them, but don't you let them. And there's just no hope that toxic people will learn a better way from you. They're not going to change. And you are not being responsible for your choices. And the last one of these 5 unconscious toxic energy attractors is called the toxically parented attractor. And what this means is you'll likely suffer from a tendency to reflect other people's reality through their perspective. And again, that's not a healthy boundary. The toxically parented attractor approach can often be marked also with classic hyper-awareness, hyper-caring, and conscientiousness of others, their emotions, and trying to fix their pain, because, you're deeply compassionate and you tend to mirror back other people's feelings. But studies have shown that there's actually a learned normalizing of toxicity from a toxic parent. And trauma bonds can be a learned relationship pattern, which leaves you untrusting of yourself and others. And left unchecked, this gradual shifting, if you're filtering your reality through the toxic person's perspective, which is what they want you to do, not to have your own perspective, can have a huge impact on your ability to trust or take care of yourself. Now, an optimal amount of self-care time for healthy mind, body, and soul in your day, as with any other woman, as a highly sensitive person, really is high. 2 to 3 hours a day. And getting hugs, 20 to 40 hugs a day for a good 20 seconds each. It's going to balance your energy, ground your energy, and start to produce healthy and uplifting hormones. And we'll talk a little bit when we get to the holistic happiness plan about how we can create that self-care in our lives as a regular practice. So ask yourself, are you giving yourself that time to recharge your energy? And which of these do you relate to? Maybe more than one. Now, I spoke to having these scripts because it's the conversations that we end up having that drain us. And I see it as like, whether it's from your parents or your friends or relationships that you have of all sorts, somebody is kind of verbally or energetically using or abusing you. And if you can see kind of like it's a stick that they're beating you with, and once they've kind of got you trained, no, go here, go there, think this, think that, do this, do that, say this, say that, don't do this, don't do that. It's kind of like metaphorically they're handing you that stick. And you just go on in your own mind, continuing to keep yourself in their energy field, in their perspective, in their ways of being for them. And even if you just have, I only see my mom once a year, or talk to her once a month on the phone, or I only have this one person that used to be in my life and I want to let them go, or I used to be in this relationship. It is a pattern that will pop up. And it's good to practice things like these scripts so that you're ready. And what you'll notice, hopefully, about these scripts is they're not specific to situation, issues, circumstances, people. They're conversation interrupters. Let's look at a few. Oh, there, let me find them. Boing, boing. So, what you want to do is have a calm and confident approach. And I will just speak through these. Because the toxic person, especially a narcissistic person, they're looking to upset you. They're looking to create self-doubt. They're looking to manipulate you. So you can go from simply, if it's a person that you have some respect for and some ability to have some kind of conversation with, it's more subtle than overt, or you're not conversing with them all the time, or there's a particular way that they have conversation. This set of conversation, 6 of these, when you're speaking to somebody and they're going all over the place and it's really confusing, and it's meant to obfuscate the conversation. So here are some things you can say. Hey, stay on point. Let's get back to the subject at hand, because you want to speak to one thing at a time. You can say, let's try not to bring up the past. Let's try to resolve this issue. Or if they're getting rude, let's refrain from results. Let's refrain from name calling and stay on point. It really does interrupt the conversation and names what's going on and shifts you back to keeping your energy. You can say, let's remain calm, mature, and respectful. So you're setting boundaries here. Or, there's no need to get defensive. I simply want to resolve this issue without dramatization. Or they're getting cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, without your dramatization. And I don't have to stand here and listen or talk with someone who disrespects me. I have a right to disengage from your abuse. And leaving conversations is great. Staying on point so you're not being dragged all over the place is powerful. So what if someone is diminishing your feelings? What if they're like, oh, you're this and you're that? Here's some wonderful things to say. 5 things. Are you saying I need your permission to feel my feelings? Do you think that I have no right to my feelings or my thoughts? You think they don't matter or they're not valid? It's a great interrupter. Somebody putting you're really into feelings. Are you suggesting that I need permission to have or experience my own reality? Let's get back on point. Are you saying that you and your feelings are the only ones that matter? Are the only ones that are valid? And that my thoughts and feelings don't matter, not valid? Hey, are you suggesting that the only person, the only perception, or the only reality that matters is yours? And this is a great one. So are you not having feelings? You're not annoyed, disgusted, dismissive, derogatory, judgmental, self-righteous, arrogant, invalidating? Hello? Pick one, pick any. You are having feelings. They will put down certain feelings that they don't feel comfortable being vulnerable. So they put down your vulnerable feelings, your honesty, but they're being dishonest. They're actually having some really ugly feelings. And when you just hit a wall with people, you can simply say things like, you're entitled to your faulty perception of me. I'm not responding to your perception of reality. Hey, your anger is your anger. Sorry you're angry, but I'm not responsible for your experience of the situation. Hey, it's not my job to make sure you don't get angry. I'm clear about my feelings. Don't project yours onto me. I'm permitted to have my own experience, and I'm okay to disagree. Well, we're going to have to disagree and agree to disagree. Bye-bye. Now, you may have, and again, stepping away from conversations when they're going nowhere or they're taking you down that hole. You may be being guilt tripped by somebody. You may have like a parent or a sibling or a friend who always does this kind of thing. So are you coming to this event, or are you bringing somebody, or are you bringing something, blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to guilt trip you or shame you about something. Again, a conversation interrupter, because you don't want to go down that path, will be things like, I'd rather talk about what is realistically my responsibility. What is your responsibility, rather than be guilt tripped. Hey, guilting or blaming me isn't going to get me to behave or feel what you want me to. Hey, I don't guilt you when you don't do what I want you to do, so please refrain from doing it. It's sad to note how often you tend to try to guilt or shame me into submission. Yeah. I'm entitled to live as an adult, and trying to guilt me into doing what you want me to do is not a healthy thing to do. And I'm not going to participate. Well, just ask. Then allow me to give my authentic answer and not make this about you and what everyone else thinks. Hey, I'm allowed to be an autonomous being, and you can accept it. Wouldn't that be nice? So, can you imagine being a loving, responsible, respectful, and compassionate friend to yourself? And how helpful would that be in your life? Now, do you need some more support in these areas? I want to introduce to you an online program exclusively for HSP women called Light Up Your Life program. In the Light Up Your Life program, it's all about releasing toxic relationship patterns that don't serve you and attracting the high vibe people you deserve and want in your life. Oops, I don't know what just happened. Oh, okay. Okay. Jeepers. In this program, I have the Holistic Happiness Plan. You need to have a plan. You can't just talk about stuff or just write about stuff or do a spiritual bypass on stuff and think everything's just for the highest good. You need to have a plan, something you can practice, something you can put in place of what you've been practicing up to now that's giving you your results up to now in those areas that aren't working, so that you're saving just hundreds of hours of stress getting your energy back right from day one so that you are attracting those high vibe people. So, the Holistic Happiness Plan inside of the Light Up Your Life program addresses these 5 key areas: empathy, boundaries, integrity, forgiveness, and gratitude. And using your Holistic Happiness Plan, you can empower your inner empath by creating an ideal balance of beliefs and behaviors that enable you to develop your expressive voice, opinions, and responsible communication skills. You will create and honor clear boundaries in order to have those important supportive connections. If you aren't honoring your boundaries, you aren't having what you need. So through a daily practice of self-care, connecting to your inner wisdom, you'll enjoy a mix of energetic, joyful, and introspective time, which is going to allow you to vibrate at the level of those that you want to attract. Right now, some part of you is still vibing at a lower level that's attracting low vibe people. We want to move you out of that. So inside of this program, here we go. So inside of this program, benefits are going to be so great because the topics, we're going to really understand energy. What is positive energy? What is negative? What is high vibrational energy? What's low? I'm going to be teaching and guiding you through Toltec energetic clearing practices for healing. We'll have healing sessions. You will deal with your self-care on all levels. You will feel so much better. Your sleep will improve. You'll have healthy boundaries for healthy relationships. You'll feel back in control of your life, growing more self-love. You'll be writing a new story for your future and learning how to live a thriving, deeply meaningful life and have a wonderful community to work with. Now, in the first module of Light Up Your Life, it's called Energize Your Engagement. You have a success video that welcomes you, it sets out all the expectations, agreements, how to do the program. And the second video in there is a masterclass called Heal Your Heart. Inside of this masterclass, we're going deeply into identifying narcissistic behavior and empathic behavior and how they work together, going in deeply and specifically so that women do have these aha moments that you can't not never hear this again, not know this. It's very affirming and empowering. To be really clear, I have curated so much information inside of just the Heal Your Heart Masterclass through all the psychologists whom I listen to, read, research, study, and follow. This is very powerful. This comes with this also in a PDF form so that you have that always at hand, right? So you can go through, oh, this is what she was speaking to. Also in this module is a resources page. So if you're at a point where you need more help, you are even in a high unsafe situation. So there are phone numbers, texting numbers, websites. So it's for everything from if you need housing, if you need emergency services, if you need a therapist, if you need anything. So we all know 911, but this is I think it's a 2-page resource list that ought to serve just about anybody if you have something that you need more help with. When we move into our next module, this is where I start to teach and train you how to use the Toltec energetic modalities. So how to clear your energy, how to ground yourself, how to shield yourself, how to use your breath, how to raise your vibration. And inside of this, I'll be telling you about it. You'll be taking notes in your journal about it, but I'll be guiding you in some of these, and you'll have that to go back to. We're going to be learning more in depth about setting and honoring boundaries, being big, which is boundaries, integrity, generosity, and gratitude, identifying the ants, which are automatic negative thoughts, and then we'll be journaling to create a new story. We've been living an old story. We're creating a new story. So that includes affirmations for manifestation, but it's also a highly creative process. Module 3 is called Envision Your Future Self. We'll be doing vision boards. Now, I've done vision boards since high school, deeply into art, went to art school. So you can do the cut it up, find pictures everywhere, or I have several sites which you can use, some of them free, to create on your computer vision boards. We'll be deeply delving into your self-care on every level, into a self-care schedule, self-care accountability. So physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. You're going to start taking care of yourself because you haven't been fully doing that up until now. Whenever we have an expectation for someone else, a desire for someone else to take care of us, we're giving away our responsibility for taking care of ourselves. We're giving away our power in a way. We want to bring ourselves back to ourselves. Some of the things we'll get into is I'll be doing some guided imagery, some guided meditations, teaching you about rituals. We'll focus on the body and nature and the breath. So getting into all different kinds of movement and how to use nature for grounding and expanding ourselves. In Module 4, Embolden Your Empathy, this is where we're generating who you be, in grounding ourselves in new ways of being. Some of the things we're going to practice is practicing opposites from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, practicing inner virtues such as gratitude. So we've been practicing other things. We have a focus inward now, lightening up with things such as laughter yoga. There's a whole section on lightening up. Comedy, laughter, etc., perspective, everything. We'll be writing a mission statement from everything that we've been creating with our journaling, with our practices, and look at generating ourselves as being self, not other. So if you need some more support in these areas, I'm giving a special gift today during this masterclass $1,000 off of my course. And the Jesus. There we go. So this is, I want to make sure that's on screen. It's also in the chat box. This is the link for that. It's a bit.ly link for the Light Up Your Life Level 1 course. This course is for HSP women, for empathic women only. This $1,000 off is during this masterclass. So save this, and I may give like 72 hours for you to complete this. Meanwhile, I have a special gift. Another one is the free quiz. Now, this quiz also comes with the unique results report. So it goes way in depth into these toxic energy attractors. And this is the link for that. You can take, 30, 60 seconds to do it. You can, if you like to think and consider more, you can do that. And you can take it more than once. Your toxic energy attractor results report is very beautiful, be emailed to you. And like I said, it goes much more in depth. So that's something I'm offering you today. And if you want more clarity, you want to see, is this a good fit for you? I'm also offering you as a gift today a complimentary 30-minute call. It's a Heal Your Heart Jumpstart session to see what you want to jump off into for the rest of your life. Inside this program, you can have that conversation. This conversation, this jumpstart session, pardon me, is not a coaching session. It is not a dumping session. It's for me to get clear and for you to get clear. What hasn't been working? What have you tried that sort of worked? And where I can't, what's it costing you not to have something work for you? What's it been costing you on all levels and costing your loved ones, your sanity, your heart, your income, everything, your safety to, constantly be pulled into this low vibe way of being, to subsume your goodness to someone else's toxic way of being, to give up on your dreams, your hope, your beautiful heart, to behave in ways that can only be justified through a toxic, narcissistic perspective. What is that costing you? And what would you really, really want to get out of this program? What are your life purpose goals you want to reach? Who do you really want to be? And how can I support you in that? So that's what the Jumpstart session is for. And again, the link is both on the screen here and in the chat. And you are welcome to all of these. And if you'd like, I told you at the beginning, we'll come back to, this is my website, perfectlypowerfulpeace.com. Pardon me. And all of these are on there as well. Also, if you would like Let me see, I'll just type it in. There we go. I have 2 groups on Facebook. If you join me in the Heal Your Heart Level 1 program, there's a specific Light Up Your Life group. This one that is in the chat box on Facebook, it's Perfectly Powerful Peace Project, actually. And if you put in the facebook.com groups, Perfectly Powerful Peace, you can go on and see what's happening, see what the challenges have been before, get some of the assets that have been created, get to know people. But in this course, in this cohort, we have this new Light Up Your Life group. So, but for now, in that group, the Light Up Your Life group will be other women in this course only. And that way we'll be able to speak to one another, support one another, and uplift one another on our journey through this and through our lives. And just so you know, after level 1 comes a masterclass, which the mastermind, which lasts twice as long and has Q&A, live Q&A, interviews, and etc. So if you complete, or when you complete the level 1, then you are eligible for the level 2 mastermind. So for now, I just want to say thank you so very much for joining me. We did come in under an hour, for joining me here today and for taking the time to just look at ways of being that may not have been working for you and ways of being that you would like to imbibe. Because once you've imbibed, you can start applying to your life. And I have a couple of testimonials that I didn't get on the slideshow. But what I'll do is copy them and put them in the chat. So this one's from Valina. She says, I know those special ones who are seeking fulfillment on a self-actualization path would benefit greatly from Devashi's Light Up Your Life program. So when I get the opportunity to coach women or to participate in programs where I get to coach women, I get wonderful feedback. Here's one from Trisha. Devashi's program makes meditation easy and approachable. She meets you where you are in your practice. She's the perfect coach to guide you on the path to developing your spiritual practice. Devashi speaks in a very soothing tone, combining her knowledge of meditation, breathwork, and yogic practices to create deeply moving experiences and to help connect people back to their soul's essence. I strongly endorse Devashi as a presenter and a meditation guide. And for Trisha, she had a It was a summit. It was an energy summit that I presented at. And I've also worked with Trisha for over a year in coaching. And I really value her and what she has to say. So, again, thank you for joining me here today. I look forward to having a conversation with you. Do go and schedule yourself a time to have a conversation with me. And I can't wait for you to get started if this course is a good fit for you. So many blessings, much love, and namaste to you. I will see if I can stop the slide presentation. But leave that open. So I just wanted to give you my whole face and say thank you again. And I hope to be speaking with you soon. And you have a very blessed day. Bye-bye.